computer-based intelligence is acquiring more extensive reception, especially in business. Most as of late. For example, Walmart reported that it is carrying out a Gen man-made intelligence application to 50,000 non-store workers. The app, according to Axios, combines Walmart data with large language models, LLM, from third parties and can assist employees with a variety of tasks, including speeding up the drafting process, acting as a creative partner, summarizing large documents, and more. Arrangements, for example, this are assisting with driving interest for graphical handling units, GPUs, expected to prepare strong profound learning models. GPUs are specific figuring processors that execute programming directions in lined up rather than successively, as do conventional focal handling units, computer chips. As per the Money Road Diary, preparing these models can cost organizations billions of dollars on account of the enormous volumes of information they need to ingest and dissect. From GPT-4 to Lambda, which provide the ChatGPT and Bard chatbot applications, this includes all deep learning and foundational LLMs. The Gen computer-based intelligence pattern is giving strong force to NVIDIA, the predominant provider of these GPUs. The company's most recent quarter's earnings were shockingly high. Aaron Griffiths wrote in the New York Times that new companies and financial backers are going to exceptional lengths to acquire these chips. Customers of Google's cloud services will have greater access to GPU-powered technology. Does this ongoing request check the pinnacle second for Gen's simulated intelligence, or could it rather highlight the start of the following influx of its turn of events? NVIDIA President Jensen Huang said on the organization's latest profit consider that this request denotes the beginning of sped-up processing. Universally useful processing is a reference to computer processors that have been intended for a wide scope of errands, from bookkeeping sheets to social information bases to ERP. NVIDIA is contending that central processors are currently inheritance framework, and that engineers ought to rather upgrade their code for GPUs to perform errands more effectively than customary computer chips. GPUs are ideal for machine learning, ML, tasks that require millions of parallel calculations because they can perform many calculations simultaneously. GPUs are additionally especially skilled at particular sorts of numerical estimations, for example, straight polynomial math and lattice control errands, that are principal to profound learning and Gen computer-based intelligence. Thompson seems to maintain a comparable point of view. According to my interpretation of Huang's outlook, many of these GPU-based tasks will be carried out on CPUs as well. That is unquestionably a bullish view for NVIDIA, in light of the fact that it implies the limit overhang that might come from chasing after generative man-made intelligence will be refilled by current distributed computing responsibilities. He proceeded, that prominent, I have doubts, people and organizations are languid, and in addition to the fact that CPU are based applications simpler to create, they are likewise generally currently assembled. I find it hard to believe that businesses will put in the time and effort to port applications that are already running on CPUs to GPUs. Matt Measure of InfoWorld advises us that we have seen this previously. The fact is, sped-up registering and GPUs are not the response for each product need. NVIDIA had an extraordinary quarter, supported by the ongoing dash for unheard-of wealth to foster Gen man-made intelligence applications. As a result, the company is naturally enthusiastic. In any case, as we have seen from the new Gartner Rising Innovation Publicity Cycle, Gen man-made intelligence is having a second and is at the pinnacle of expanded assumptions. To this very point, we could before long arrive at the restrictions of the ongoing Gen computer-based intelligence blast. On their company's Substack, venture capitalists Paul Kedrowski and Eric Norlin of SK Ventures wrote, "Our view is that we are at the last part of the primary rush of enormous language model-based artificial intelligence. Tendency to hallucinations, inadequate training data in narrow fields, sunset training corpora from years ago, or myriad other reasons are some of these limitations." They add, in opposition to poetic overstatement, we are now at the last part of the ongoing flood of honestly, Kedrowski and Norlin are not contending that Gen artificial intelligence is at an impasse. All things considered, they accept there should be significant mechanical enhancements to accomplish anything better than not terrible, but not great either computerization and restricted efficiency development. They argue that new models, more open source, and especially ubiquitous/cheap GPUs will make up the next wave. If this is true, it may not be good news for NVIDIA, but it would help those who need the technology. As Fortune noted, Amazon has clarified its expectations to straightforwardly challenge NVIDIA's prevailing situation in chip fabricating. They are in good company, as various new businesses are additionally competing for piece of the pie, as are chip stalwarts, including AMD. It is incredibly hard to challenge a predominant occupant. The next generation of AI appears to have a bright future, despite reaching a peak of expectations and the limitations of the current generation of models and applications. In this case, at least, expanding sources for these chips and lowering the prices of a scarce technology will be crucial to its development and dissemination. There are probably a number of reasons for this promise, but perhaps the most important one is that the economy will continue to face a generational shortage of workers, necessitating more automation. In spite of the fact that man-made intelligence and mechanization have generally been seen as discrete, this perspective is changing with the approach of man-made intelligence. The innovation is progressively turning into a driver for robotization and coming about efficiency. Work Process Organization's APR Prime supporter Mike Knoop alluded to this peculiarity on a new Eye on Computer-Based Intelligence webcast when he said, "Man-made intelligence and mechanization are mode imploding into exactly the same thing." McKinsey definitely holds this belief. According to a recent report, generative artificial intelligence is ready to release the following influx of efficiency. They aren't the only ones. Goldman Sachs, for instance, predicted that Generation AI could boost global GDP by 7%. Whether we are at the pinnacle of the ongoing Gen artificial intelligence, obviously a region will proceed to advance and catalyze banters across business. While the difficulties are huge, so are the valuable open doors, particularly in a world hungry for development and productivity. The race for GPU mastery is nevertheless a preview in this unfurling story, a preface to the future parts of man-made intelligence.